Hello and welcome back to the Brew Interviews, the scariest show on the air since Rock of Love. I am Robbie, and joining me as always via the internet is my best friend Lauren. It is episode 71, and this week we decided to go all Scooby-Doo on your ass and dive into some paranormal and true crime stories. So grab your Ouija board and your trench coat and join us this week on the Brew Interviews. My name is Robbie. I never believed in good beer until I came face to face with one. So I set out on a quest to capture what I once saw onto a podcast.
Is anybody here?
With no big camera crews following us around, I am joined only by my fellow investigator Lauren and our equipment tech, also Lauren. The two of us will travel to some of the most highly active craft brew locations, where we will spend an entire episode being locked down from dusk until dawn.
This is the portal to Anheuser-Busch. Why don't you come up out of the ground and get us?
Raw.
Someone just scratched me?
Extreme.
Oh, stop. Stop running.
These are our Brew Interviews. So how you been, Lauren?
Well, Robbie, I have been just dandy. I'm really...
You can't, that's my word.
No, that's my word. I always use that
dandy.
word. I always use it. I
Only
always
because
say
you
dandy.
you hear me use it all the time.
No, you use it because you hear me use it all the time.
No. I am older than you, therefore I am wiser.
No, that's not how that works.
Everything, yeah.
I
100% how it works.
Shut up. So, anyways,
It's called his story, not her story.
I hate you. Listen, fucking patriarchy, okay? I'm dog sitting this weekend. I'm dog sitting all the dogs for Beer Wench because she is off on a fun skiing adventure with her roller derby team.
Yeah, it's the most work you've done all week.
Well, it was actually a short week. I did not work on Monday, which was really nice. Instead, I went up and had lunch with Patricia because she did work.
Was it MLK Day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I actually have it off for once now because I have changed jobs, and that's wonderful.
You guys didn't have MLK Day off originally?
Hell no. Which is why I went up and had fucking lunch with her.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
Yep, short week for me. Dog sitting this weekend. I'm going to stay in all weekend and make myself some chicken jerky and some pork jerky because I don't have any beef.
Why chicken jerky?
I'm experimenting. I think it'll come out good.
Do you have a dehydrator?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I love dehydrating things.
Yeah. Such a weird phrase. I love dehydrating things.
I love dehydrating things. I actually wish I had gotten
Tinder
like
profile?
some fruit or something. Yeah, that was on my Tinder profile. What up?
Loves to dehydrate things. Fruit.
You want to stay in
meat,
the
my
weekend
body?
and have fun with me and my dehydrator?
Just stare at the beef that takes 12 hours to dehydrate.
It doesn't take quite that long.
Takes a long time.
I know.
If you want to do it right.
I know. Well, with chicken, I was like looking it up, and you have to like pre-cook it and stuff, and
Really?
yeah, to like make it safe to eat. So you have to like pre-cook it to like so that there's no pink essentially, and then dehydrate it from there.
Huh.
So I'm gonna
Sounds like you're just cooking chicken, to be honest with you.
essentially. Well, you're cooking it to dehydrate it. So tomorrow will be my
yeah.
prep day. Like tomorrow, I'll prep all the chicken. Like I'll cut it and stuff, and I'll marinate it tomorrow, and then I'll dehydrate it on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are living an
I
exciting
know.
life.
I
tell
know.
You what.
Oof.
I tell
I've
you
come
what.
a long way since we started this podcast, Robbie.
yeah, dehydrating all the meats.
Dehydrating all the meats. Oh boy. Well, how have you been, my fine sir?
I'm good. I'm finally on day shift now.
Oh, good.
So that's
you seem much
nice.
more alive today.
That's only thank you.
You're
It's only been
welcome.
about 4 months. I have a new favorite restaurant.
Ooh, what is it?
Okay.
What is it?
It's called Huckleberries.
Ooh.
And it is a New Orleans, Louisiana Southern Comfort style restaurant.
Really? Is it a chain or is it a local restaurant?
No, it's a local restaurant.
Yum.
And oh my god, I had the shrimp po' boy, which was awesome. I've also had their chicken and waffles, which was fucking amazing.
Love chicken and waffles.
I know. Ugh. And I was like, this place is good.
Yeah.
Seal of approval from me.
Wonderful. All right. Well, if you live in that area, go there. Eat their food.
Yeah. No, I can't advertise for businesses until they.
Oh yeah. Well, you should see if they want to sponsor us. Maybe they'll give you free chicken.
I was just thinking, just give me free chicken. I'll take that.
That would be hilarious. Oh my god.
Lauren gets nothing.
Well, that's all right. So I see you drinking a beer there, Robbie. What are you drinking?
I'm glad you asked. We don't normally talk about beer on this show, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I am drinking a beer from Abomination Brewing Company.
Okay. Where are they from?
I don't know where the fuck they are. Boston.
Sweet.
Brewed and canned by Dorchester Brewing Company. Oh, I think this is one of those
Is it?
one company brewed it, the other one canned it kind of deal.
Probably. Or it's a distributing. It's like distributed out of there.
Well, it's distributed by 12%.
Oh my God.
So
This
it's-
is so confusing.
It is very confusing. It says Abomination Brewing Company at the top. That's all.
All right. Well, it's from them.
It is called Wandering into the Fog.
Ooh,
It is
spooky.
a double IPA coming in at 8.6% alcohol.
Oh, I
great
like
can
that
art, too.
can.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
They have a couple different ones that are called like the Fog, Wandering into the Fog. This is the Mosaic version. And I got this from Tavor. Oh, actually a while back.
Yes.
I wonder if there's a can dating. There's not. But it's still pretty damn good. I've heard a lot about this.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen, like, nobody takes pictures of this beer a
Yeah,
whole lot
I've
on, like,
never.
Instagram
I
and
don't
things
think
like
I've seen that beer at all.
that. Yeah, I've heard it mentioned quite a bit. And it's my first time trying it, and I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed. This is very good, very juicy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know Mosaic hop as soon as you taste it, so it's
Yeah,
not
that's
like
true.
it's surprising at all. Just bitter enough. It kind of reminds me of a Treehouse beer.
Yum.
Just very good. Very good beer.
Sweet.
Good job. Yeah.
All right.
To whoever fucking made it, brewed it, distributed
Thanks.
it, canned it.
What is it? Abomination.
Abomination.
Abomination Brewing from somewhere in
Massachusetts.
somewhere in Massachusetts. Well, it's very mysterious. I like it for our topic tonight. Very mysterious.
Yeah,
beer.
exactly. Exactly.
Now,
What about you, Lauren?
what am I drinking, Robbie? Well, as featured on our Instagram earlier this week, I am drinking Morning Wood from the Funky Buddha. They are in Florida, but I don't remember where in Florida. And it doesn't.
It's all the same.
Yeah, it doesn't say it on here, but I got this when I went down there a while ago, so this beer has been aging in my apartment.
Hell yeah.
It is from the Living Barrel series, and it is an imperial porter. All right, wait, hold on. An imperial porter aged in barrels with coffee, maple syrup, and natural flavors added.
Sounds thick as fuck.
It is thick as fuck, Robbie. It's
like three C's thick.
yeah.
3 C's.
It's fucking. It's
Thick.
like the legs on this beer. It's just stick.
Don't
it's
say
like
that.
what? Is that not what it's
The
called?
legs.
What?
Yeah, legs are
like-
a representation of the alcohol percentage, but
Oh my god! No, it's just like sticking to the sides of the glass. It's like
yeah.
it's so thick.
Don't think you're fancy. Yeah. Legs. Fuck
It's
you.
thick in your
It's
mouth.
thick.
It's thick on
here.
your fucking glass. It's gonna be thick in your stomach. It is thick AF.
Ooh.
All right. Well, it tastes like maple syrup and bourbon
We
and coffee.
down with
It
the
literally
thickness
tastes
here.
what they said in it. It's kind of like drinking a maple coffee and licking wood right after you take a sip. You know, like you just fucking lick the inside of a barrel. It's good.
Yeah.
It's actually really good.
You ever just had a stout and then licked a banister? You're just
Yeah,
like,
let me just fucking get some splinters all up on my tongue. All right, well, took that
what
one
banisters
too
are you
far.
licking?
Sorry, got carried away. Oh boy.
Some unfinished banisters where the fuck Lauren's hanging out at.
Oh, I was getting into the kinky shit. Okay, so anyways, Funky
pressure
Buddha.
treated.
It's delicious. It's sweet. It's roasty. It's coffee. It's mapley.
What was the percentage?
11%. So tonight is going to be a wonderful night.
We both have. I have an 8.6.
Yeah, and I haven't really been drinking at all, except for when we record and when I go to trivia. So
Trivia. So you have been drinking?
well, I only have one beer at trivia. So
Really?
yeah, really.
One big.
One big beer. Just like it's actually a
13%.
funnel right from
Yeah.
the tap. It's
keg.
just like in
Yeah.
I just Yep. All right. Good thing this isn't
Have you
video
ever funneled
recorded.
Yeah. Have you ever funneled beer?
No, I haven't.
Like a
I have
no?
shotgunned some beers, but I have never funneled a beer. I'm not good at drinking
way
things
easier.
fast.
I'm not, but I'm not either. But when you do it in like the funnel for some reason with a tube, it just is easier than
No,
I've thought.
see,
it
I'm
would be.
very, I'm 100% sure that I will start drinking it from the funnel, and it will just come out of my nose and splash all over my clothes and get everywhere, and I'll be covered in beer. And I don't like being covered in beer.
Yeah, just vomit. Yeah.
No, I don't like
I
being
know how
covered
you
in
roll.
vomit.
I've heard
either.
stories. I've heard stories.
Ugh, New Year's was rough.
Speaking of being covered in bodily fluids, I was watching the R. Kelly
Oh
documentary.
my god.
And I was like, wow, these girls are pretty fucking messed up. What happened? But
Yeah, fuck R.
For those of you
Kelly.
that don't know, he peed on a little girl.
He's
That's what it
he's a predator, and he needs to be in jail.
we should do an episode on that.
What, R. Kelly? How fucking terrible of a human he is?
Well, I mean, not just R. Kelly, but I mean the story as a whole.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about
And
R.
then
Kelly
we can dive into
being a fucking...
peeing on people. Did you ever watch the Chappelle Show growing up?
No.
When he does the R. Kelly spoof of one of his songs, and
I think I know
called
the
Pee on
spoof
You.
song. Yeah, I think I know that,
drip,
actually.
drip, 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 pee on you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, well...
It's good. So I heard you had a bit of brew news for us.
Well,
today.
I have just a little something to share. Do we want to let them know our topic and why this is relevant?
They'll know the topic in the intro when I do it.
Oh.
Remember? Yeah.
Yep. So to go along with our topic this evening, 19 Crimes Wine. I'm sure that everyone that listens to this knows what that is. And if you don't, just go Google it. You've seen it in the grocery stores. They're bottles of wine.
Every gas station.
Yeah. Literally, they're just bottles of wine with like criminals on them. It's awesome.
Yeah. They seem to be the same couple of criminals, though.
I think it's.
Right?
I think it. There are different ones. I don't fucking know how many there
Yeah.
are. I don't
But
drink
yeah,
the
but
wine. I've
the
never
ones-
had it. Never had
The
it.
wine's good.
I've heard it's good.
The wine's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing fancy. It's like $13 a bottle, 15 around there.
Yeah, but it's kind of gone along with this craze of drinking / true crime podcasts.
True crime. Yeah, yeah.
But
It's for all those white girls out there.
yes, but
Oh wow,
Robbie,
that's genius then. Think about it. What do white girls love? Wine. What else do white girls love? True crime. Combined them.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Wow, why didn't I get on the ground floor on this son of a bitch?
Because you're too busy hating on true crime paranormal podcasts.
No, I'm too busy hating on white girls.
That too. Stop hating on
with your
fucking
with your
women, Robbie,
jeggings
you
and your
fucking
Ugg boots.
patriarchy.
No, not women. Not women. White girls.
Same difference.
I'm a racist, not a sexist.
Oh
Get it
my
right.
God. He admitted it. All right. Well, 19 Crime Wine is coming out with a line of beer, of craft beer.
So it is genuine craft?
I think so. Yes. We'll launch 3 craft beers in the U.S. this March. And I'm not sure when this... and this came out in 2019, March of 2019. So
this article is a year old?
yeah, but it's not all over yet. So they only did like a test pilot in like Ohio to start.
Yeah, it was like some
Yeah,
random
so
state.
it will start appearing, I believe, soon. The article is not very long. It's about 3 paragraphs. It's just saying that they're going to feature the ones that they did on their wine on craft beer. They're trying to come into this craft beer market, and I think that that's totally fine as long as their beer is good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really care I don't even care if you're not craft. I just care if the beer's good or not.
Yes.
I mean that's the main reason we hate Anheuser-Busch is they mostly make fucking trash.
They make
I don't
rice
care that they're
water.
not craft. Yeah, I love Heineken. Heineken's not craft. They make good beer.
Heineken's fine.
You shut your mouth.
Well, I didn't say it was bad.
Mitch got me a giant bottle of Heineken.
Yes.
I think it was for my birthday.
Yeah, you drank it on the show, I think.
No, I did not.
Oh.
It's like a giant champagne bottle of Heineken. I had it in my fridge forever.
That's hilarious.
And I actually I opened it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I think it was 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Undrinkable. It had
Oh,
gone bad.
no,
I
it's
think,
skunked?
Yeah, I think like originally it had probably just been like those novelty bottles don't sell really well, so I'm assuming they were just like sitting in the sun
yeah,
or
probably.
sitting somewhere, and it just kind of went from cold to hot,
Oh,
cold, whatever.
no.
But so it was bad. Like couldn't even stomach it. I felt bad, but it was a novelty. It was a joke thing anyway. So.
Yeah. Still, it's the thought that counts.
Yep, and he didn't think very hard.
Well, there it is, folks.
I think that's when he also gave me a tampon for my birthday too. I don't know.
Hey, that's a good present.
Or was that Christmas? I don't know. I have such nice friends. That's well.
Yeah. Well, I've never given you a tampon, so.
Yeah. No. And in return, I just take his money each month on our Patreon account.
Yes.
Patreon.com/The Interviews.
If you like this show and you would like to help support us, keep the laughs and the beer flowing, head on over to Patreon. Donate to us one time, multiple times.
I hate that you said that.
Why?
I hate that you said. We sound like shitty YouTubers or Instagram mob. If you want to keep the laughs and the beer flowing.
That was what I was going for.
Oh my god!
I wanted-
Your money goes to neither beer nor laughs. It goes to hosting this podcast.
Yeah, it literally goes to our
money
hosting
to host
fees.
the show.
Yes.
It does not go into our pocket. So that's
No, it's multiple hundreds of dollars a year for us to just host our podcast on different sites for you to listen to.
The money. I control the money because otherwise Lauren would spend it on knickknacks and arts and crafts because she's a hoarder. You know what I mean?
I would spend it on some beer, and I would spend it on microphones for myself for when I'm interviewing people, because our sound quality sucks when we do interviews.
Lauren has a great job with a great pay, so don't listen.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be using our Patreon money for the podcast. I don't want to.
We are.
Yeah, for hosting. I'm just saying,
that.
more
Exactly.
people
That's
need to
expensive.
donate so we could do better things.
Yeah, like get a new host.
Oh no.
I can pay them. Anyway, it's enough of your yammering,
right.
woman.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to move on to our main topic of the night, which, as you all know, is a little bit of true crime and a little bit of paranormal. So we kind of figured, why not change it up a little bit? Every once in a while, we might do something paranormal related, or we've done a little bit of true crime, I think. Nothing
we
crazy.
did some like death row last words or something. Death row. Jethro?
Jethro?
I like that we both just said that.
Yeah, so we thought we'd change it up a little bit and actually each choose a story. Mine being paranormal, Lauren's will be true crime, and just kind of talk about them.
Yeah, we're going to be like all the other paranormal true crime podcasts. Woohoo!
Ooh,
Which I've been
Lauren,
binging
how dare
all
you.
week. I'm so excited. Finally. I can live out
Should
my
only be
dreams.
listening to our stuff.
Oh, I just woke the dogs up when I wooed, so.
Oh, God,
bad.
you're horrible. Anyway, my paranormal story for the night is based off of the real Annabelle.
The real Annabelle. What is the fake
The real
Annabelle?
It's from the movies.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've watched any of the
I
movies.
watched the first movie. It's terrible. I never want to see the second one.
The Conjuring or the Annabelle movie?
I don't know.
She first shows up
Wherever-
at The Conjuring.
I don't think it's The Conjuring. I think it's the Annabelle movie.
So the actual
It was
Annabelle
like made in the 90s, but it looks like it was made in like the 70s. I don't know.
There is no.
2000s? I don't know.
The Conjuring and the Annabelle movies were made like recently within the last 10
Yeah, I
years.
think the Annabelle one is bad.
No, they're all quite
No,
good.
I don't think I
actually.
liked it. I think it was really bad.
You don't know movies anyway.
I think I watched it with Steph, and I think it was bad, and I did not like it.
You don't know. Yeah, because you hate everything fun and scary and.
No, it
and
was just I
cool
didn't
and-
think it was a good movie. Like I didn't like it. I just didn't like it.
Anyway, I'm gonna go over the Annabelle story, and we're gonna talk about it. So, cue the spooky music. No, the other spooky music. And so it begins. In 1970, a mother purchased an antique Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store. The doll had been a birthday present for her daughter, Donna. Who names their kid Donna? Well, I guess this was the 70s. So
All right, I know which story this is. I know the real Annabelle. This is wonderful.
Donna was preparing to graduate from college with a nursing degree. She lived in a tiny apartment with her roommate, Angie. A nurse, as pleased with the cute Raggedy Ann doll, placed it on her bed as a decoration and didn't give it a second thought. Within days, both Donna and Angie noticed that there appeared to be something very strange and creepy about the doll. The doll mysteriously seemed to move about the house. Relatively small movements at first, such as a change in position, but as time passed, the movement became more noticeable. Donna and Angie would come home to find the doll in a completely different room. Sometimes the doll would be found with its legs crossed, arms folded, and other times it would be found upright, standing on its feet. Which is kind of a horrific notion.
What would you actually do if that happened to you? Like if that was
I'd kick it.
actually fucking happening to you, what would you do?
Karate chop. I would take all the lessons I've learned studying martial arts.
Which
okay?
is none.
Lauren, okay, no.
I have more
Very
karate
versed.
classes than you do.
Yeah, I'm very versed in the martial
no,
arts.
I'm more versed in
okay?
martial arts than you are, and you could
No,
still beat me in a fight.
I took classes online, and I would come in and I would chop it right in the fucking neck. Okay?
Just like that?
Don't test me. Yeah.
I would.
Several times, Donna. No, you don't get into
Oh,
sick.
okay. I'd put it down the garbage
This
disposal.
is my story. Yeah, you would just thought there would be a puddle of urine at the front door.
That too, I'd move. I'd leave it there and
you
move.
know, if we lived together, I would do this shit to you. I would just like find.
Which
creepy
is why
shit
we
and
can't
move
live
around.
together, but we can live in the same apartment building, Robbie.
Several times, Donna sometimes left the doll on the couch before leaving to work and would return to find the doll back in her room on the bed, with the door closed.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like the idea of a doll just kind of moving around the house.
No, that sounds fucking terrifying. I already
think if I lived
can't find
alone.
my shit. Okay? I don't need it moving on me, too.
I mean, you wouldn't be looking for the doll anywhere besides, like...
I would be if I knew it was moving.
I think it'd be funny if it was, like, a sex doll.
Okay, I don't know. That would make it even scarier because it's bigger.
Oh, it'd be hilarious.
A sex doll could beat me up.
And you'd have to look for it. Be like, where is that guy?
Oh my god, no, I'd be terrified that, like, I'm just gonna, like, turn the corner to go to the bathroom and a sex doll is gonna jump out of my closet at me. Fuck that. I don't need that kind of
like
stress in my life.
the Annabelle doll in the movies is, like, actually creepy looking. Can you imagine it being a sex doll with, like, its mouth open and, like... just, like, how scary can you be when you're getting ready to receive a cock? Like, you can't be that scary.
I honestly think a Raggedy Ann doll is would be more terrifying than the Annabelle doll and a blow-up doll.
Well, it's not blow up. It's, like, one of the fleshy ones.
Oh, that's even worse. I'm thinking like
No, we're
Betsy
spending good
Blow
money
Up,
on this.
not like fucking
Betsy Blow
Suzanne
Up.
Jones. I don't know.
Suzanne Jones?
That's what I think. That's what I think sex doll names should be.
Isn't that the name of the character from Orange is the New Black?
I have no idea.
Crazy
What did I
Crazy Eyes?
say?
Isn't her name Suzanne Jones?
It's Suzette, isn't it?
It's Suzanne, but isn't
Suzanne.
it? It's Suzanne.
Is it Jones?
I don't know. It sounds
Could
familiar
you
with being
imagine?
Jones. I mean,
Could you imagine a sex doll? A Crazy
of
Eyes?
Crazy Eyes. Hey, everybody's into whatever they want to
man.
be into.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
fucking that coming at you haunted? No.
It doesn't come at you. It just
I
stands
have
there. It's
goosebumps right now,
complicated.
Robbie. They're all over my arms.
I have goosebumps.
Oh, no. Oh, God, that's terrifying.
Oh God. Back to the story.
Oh, sorry.
Annabelle the doll not only moved but could write as well. About a month into their experiences, Donna and Angie began to find the messages written on parchment paper that read, "Help us" and "Help Lou."
Who's Lou?
The handwrite. We'll get to.
Okay.
That. I don't know if we do. The handwriting, as if it was written by a small child. The creepy part about the messages was not the wording, but the way they were written. At the time, Donna had never kept parchment paper on which the notes were written in the house. Why with the commas? Why with the extra commas? There's like 6 extra commas.
Also,
Good lord.
Did a fucking doll just leave this apartment, go down the street to get some parchment paper, and then come back?
It's a demon, Lauren.
How
It can
does
do
a
whatever
fucking
it
demon just
wants.
get some paper?
It's parchment. It's like demonic. It's the most demonic kind of paper. You know that?
Can a demon just conjure paper? Is that a thing?
I don't.
We
I
could
don't know.
solve the fucking tree crisis if demons could just make paper.
I like how like you believe demons are real doing shit, but you're just like, we just have to talk to them.
If we just
have a conversation
explain
with
what's
them.
going on, maybe they can just make themselves useful and make some fucking more parchment, okay?
Hey, demon, make yourself useful.
I'm gonna get so fucking haunted tonight, dude.
You tree planting motherfuckers. God, I hope so.
Oh no. I have 3 dogs to protect me. It's alright.
I'm sure.
Luna will protect
two-
me.
2 wussies and a lazy dog. Yeah, Luna the lunatic.
Luna's the only one that would.
So that's the first part of the story, kind of like background of the doll. Then they decided to hire a medium. And if you don't know what a medium is, it is a woman who has nothing else to do in her
Or
life,
a man.
so she pretends to talk to the dead.
Or a gender fluid individual.
Usually a woman.
No, there are male ones.
Yeah, but not the good ones.
Well, that's
Women
because
are much better at
men
faking it.
are too. Listen, men are.
Did you hear what I said? I said women are much better at faking it.
No, women are more sensitive, and
Get
men
it?
don't want to give
Get it?
in to
Sex?
anything that will make their masculinity seem threatened.
You were so out of touch. It's
You're out of touch.
All right. Good one.
Thank you.
You're out of touch. You could never be a lawyer.
No.
And he murdered them, sir. No, you murdered them. What? No.
Oh boy.
What? One night, Donna came home to find the doll had moved again.
Fucking
This time
doll.
it was on her bed.
That's
See,
where
on the bed,
that's where I
that's
draw the
doll.
line.
Donna had come to find that this was typical of the doll, but somehow she knew that this time was different. Something wasn't right.
Yeah, because it's
A
a
sense
demon.
of fear came.
Sorry.
A sense of fear came over her when she inspected the doll and saw what looked like blood drops on the back of its hands and its chest. Seemingly from nowhere, a liquidy red substance had appeared on the doll.
Oh, no.
Scared and desperate, Donna and Angie decided it was time to seek expert advice.
Put that thing down the garbage disposal. Fuck that doll.
Not every home has a...
That's going right out the
garbage
window.
disposal.
Right out the window. I used to have one in my fucking apartment building. Took it.
A window or a garbage disposal?
My garbage disposal. It got
They took
clogged,
my
so they just
window.
fucking took it.
Same with your toilet, I guess.
Listen, I have a light bulb that I won't even call them to change because I'm like, what are you gonna do?
Just
Take my
take the
whole
light.
fucking light?
You've lost your privileges. Not knowing where to turn, they contacted a medium and a seance was held.
That
Donna
doesn't
was
sound
then
like a smart idea.
No, it gets worse. Donna was then introduced to the spirit of Annabelle Higgins, which I feel like is somebody we went to high school with. The medium related the story of Annabelle to both Donna and Angie. Annabelle was a young girl that resided on the property before the apartments were built.
Nope.
They were happy times.
Fake news.
She was a young girl of only 7 years old when her lifeless body was found in the field upon which the apartment complex now stands. The spirit related to the medium that she felt comfort with Donna and Angie and wanted to stay with them and be loved, just like you, Laura.
Fake news.
Feeling compassion for Annabelle and her story, Donna gave her permission to inhibit. It does say inhibit. God damn.
Inhabit?
Yeah, it's supposed to be inhabit, but they wrote inhibit. Feeling compassion for Annabelle and her story, Donna gave her permission to inhabit the doll and stay with them. They were soon to find out, however, that Annabelle was not what she appeared to be. This was no ordinary case and definitely no ordinary doll. You can talk now.
Oh. If it
I'll give
says
you a
it's a
second.
fucking kid, it's definitely a demon. You never believe that. Ever.
This was 1970.
I
They
don't give
know
a
that
shit. I don't give a shit. Also, why would you invite a ghost to live with you? I'd be like, bitch, you need to move on. You need to move
Well, they weren't
on.
hurting anybody.
No, it doesn't matter. The doll is up walking around my house and it had blood on it and it had paper that was not in my apartment. Absolutely fucking not. That doll is not staying with me. No.
What if it wrote like loving notes?
That's even
Like,
creepier.
"You're the best."
That's even creepier. No.
Good job, dude.
All right. Well, if it said good job,
You don't
dude,
want like
maybe
inspire, yeah,
that would
like
be all right.
like inspiring notes. Like have a good day, buddy. And you're like, thank you.
No, but then I'd be scared it's just being like cordial.
Maybe it is. Maybe it wants to be.
No,
your friend.
I don't. No. You know what? Spirits are fine, but like, don't
Okay.
hang out in my apartment. Thank you. Please.
Now we
Talking
move
to
on
everyone.
to Lou's account. Remember when it said helped Lou and all that shit? Oh, that's a dog.
Yeah, sorry. Robbie got scared that Annabelle was in my
I just saw a
apartment.
brown nose. All right, a little bit of background on Lou. Lou was Donna and Angie's friend, and he would stay at their place a lot of the times back in the day. And he had always had uneasy feelings about the doll.
Yeah, because it's a demon.
This brings us to the first of two incidences
Oh, no.
with Lou. First incident. Lou awoke one night from a deep sleep and in a panic. Once again, he had a recurring bad dream. Only this time, somehow, something seemed different. It was as though he was awake but couldn't move. He looked around the room but couldn't discern anything out of the ordinary, and then it had happened. Looking down towards his feet, he saw the doll, Annabelle. It began to slowly glide up his
Nope.
leg, moved over his chest,
Nope.
and then stopped.
Nope.
Within seconds, the doll was strangling him.
Nope.
Paralyzed and gasping for breath, Lou, at the point of asphyxiation, blacked out.
Nope.
Lou awoke the next morning, certain it wasn't a dream. Lou was determined to rid himself of that doll and the spirit that it possessed it. Lou, however, would have one more terrifying experience with Annabelle. This brings us to the second
No.
incident.
No.
What?
After that first incident, I take that doll. I don't care if it's my friends or not. I take that doll and I throw it in the river.
So I think the story actually goes deeper. I'm not going to get into it, but they tried getting rid of the doll, and it just showed up.
Did it come back?
Yeah, I think that was...
You get rid of that
part
doll
the
and then you
story.
move immediately. You
So-
pack everything up. You don't talk about where you're moving. You throw it in a river
Doesn't work.
and you move.
Doesn't work. So I have the book. I have the book written by Ed and Lorraine Warren about this
Yeah.
case. I couldn't find it because it's
You
packed
do?
away right now. Yeah, it's a good read. They do it with a bunch of other cases too that they talk about. But this brings us to the second incident with Lou.
All right.
A little bit of background on this incident. Apparently, they had thought somebody had broken into the apartment.
Except it was the fucking doll.
There's a fucking doll. And then this is kind of course, they had the guy go check it out to make sure, so they don't get murdered, right?
Hell yeah, I would send you in first,
Exactly.
too.
Lou scoured the room for forced entry, but nothing was out of place. But as he got close to the doll, he got quite a distinct impression that somebody was behind him. Spinning around, he was quick to realize that nobody else was there. Then in a flash, he found himself grabbing for his chest, doubled over, cut and bleeding. His shirt was stained with blood, and upon opening his shirt, on his chest was what looked like to be a 7. Or, no, read that wrong. I assumed what it was going to say. And upon opening his shirt, there on his chest was what looked like to be 7 distinct claw marks. 3 vertically and 4 horizontally. All were hot, like burns. These scratches healed almost immediately, half gone the next day, fully gone by 2 days. Which is a little suspect. You're just like, oh, it's gone now. You couldn't prove that.
I would have taken
scratched.
pictures right away.
This is 1970, so whether or not they had a camera on hand.
Polaroid,
you know what I mean?
get your Polaroid. You probably would have gotten a picture of the fucking demon, too.
Yeah, so many demon pictures on a Polaroid.
Yeah, you take pictures and things show up in it.
So they had called a pastor, somebody to come check the place out.
Someone to fucking drown that thing in holy water.
Yeah, and then that's when the pastor reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren. And if you don't know who they are famous demonologists. The wife, Lorraine, was a medium. Ed was a demonologist, and they have a lot of famous cases about possession.
I didn't realize she was
spirits.
a medium.
Yep. Yeah. Oh. She was alive until, I think,
recently.
5 years ago, give or take, somewhere around there. Ed passed away first, and then she was still running her occult museum that has Annabelle still in it. But it's pretty crazy.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised it's not in Zach Baggins'
Yeah.
museum.
Fucking sack back. Anyway, this brings us to the investigation.
Dun dun dun.
So the father reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren immediately took interest in the case and contacted Donna concerning the doll. The Warrens, after speaking with Donna, Angie, and Lou, came to the immediate conclusion that the doll itself was not in fact possessed, but manipulated by an inhuman presence.
So that demon did just fucking drop the doll and walk down the street, get some parchment paper, and come back.
So it gets a little confusing because you'll hear in a second. Spirits do not possess inanimate objects like houses or toys. They possess people. An inhuman spirit can attach itself to a place or an object, and this is what occurred in the Annabelle case. So the demon attached itself to the object, but did not possess the object. If that makes sense?
Yes.
This spirit manipulated the doll and created the illusion of it being alive in order to get recognition. Truly, the spirit was not looking to stay attached to the doll, it was looking to possess a human host. At the conclusion of the investigation, the Warrens felt it appropriate to have a recitation of an exorcism blessing by Father Cook to cleanse the apartment. The Episcopal blessing of the home is a wordy, 7-page document that is distinctly positive in nature. Rather than specifically expelling the evil entities from the dwelling, the emphasis is instead directed towards filling the home with the power of positivity and God, in this case.
Jesus.
Ed Warren, at Donna's request, and as a further precaution against the phenomena ever occurring in the home again, the Warrens took the Annabelle doll home along with them. And that is currently...
And then they got in a car accident and almost died.
They didn't... Something happened, in the car. And...
Oh, really?
So the story goes...
I was just making that up.
Yeah, so when they were taking the doll home, Ed refused to drive on the highway for that reason.
Oh, yeah.
was
Oh,
concerned.
actually, I think I might have known that.
Yep, so they took the back roads, and something did happen, but it was whatever. And they almost had an
popped a
accident.
tire or something.
Yeah, and then when that happened, they were like, fuck you, doll. And they just doused it with holy water and prayers, and they're just like, fucking bitch. And they brought it home. And then originally it was not in a case. There is a specific case that they put the doll in.
Why would you not put that thing in a case?
So, well, they had a whole room that was locked away, dedicated to items attached to the occult. And the doll would just show up in their bedroom apparently, and just other places. And there was a time.
That's terrifying.
They said it's responsible for 2 deaths for people that visited the museum and accidentally fucked with the doll. One guy was tapping on the glass and being like, "Oh, you're just a stupid fucking doll."
Don't fuck with haunted shit, guys.
Got in a motorcycle crash on the way back. There was a young priest who was training or something like that, because the Warrens would have a priest come to the house every week and then bless the doll so it wouldn't fucking murder kids. And this priest poked fun at it. It's "Oh, you can't do shit. You're just a fucking doll." He didn't say fucking, but
he might have.
I don't think. Yeah, and the priest died. Something happened to the priest. I don't remember. But yeah, it was pretty fucked up. But yeah, that's kind of the story of Annabelle.
Damn.
It's pretty crazy.
Annabelle.
Annabelle. I love the story
and it
of
was
Annabelle.
a Raggedy Ann doll?
Yeah, it's a Raggedy
That's
Ann
the
doll
OG?
in real life, yes, but in the movies that they obviously had to make
It's
it
like
a
a
little
creepy
creepier.
looking
Yeah,
doll.
I think it
It's
still
like a
would have been
porcelain
creepy.
face doll.
Yeah, but I think they wanted more like emotion, like expressive emotion in the doll for a movie, which makes sense.
I guess. I think that lack of emotion would have been scarier.
Maybe
Like just a fucking
articulation,
like
maybe.
working with lighting. I think that would have been cool.
Oh yeah, fucking assistant director Lauren over here knows all the shit about it.
All right. Well, listen. I just didn't like the movie.
You know how many homemade sex tape Lauren has directed, and those are the scariest movies I've ever seen. So maybe you'd be pretty
which
good at
are
it.
none. Thank you.
Sure.
Yet. No.
Let's go, Danny.
All right. Well, listen. Let me just top off my beer here. Gonna empty this bottle right into that cup. Okay.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn. I'm ready for some true crime.
True crime. All right. Well, my
Is that supposed to be
topic.
like the True Colors song? True
Yeah.
Colors.
Hey, it works, right? So my story is a tad lighter than your story, Robbie.
How is
though
true
it is
crime a tad lighter?
true crime story.
Mine's about rape. Okay, it's lighter than Robbie's. Where Robbie had going.
So my story tonight is about the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist.
Wow. Oh, am I supposed to be react? Wow.
Are you so excited to hear about this maple syrup heist?
I am not.
Why not? Well, it goes along with the theme of my beer. That's why I chose this one, because it has maple syrup in it. This is actually a pretty big deal, Robbie. It's a big deal.
Well, yeah, getting gallon for gallon, syrup is the most expensive liquid on the planet.
Exactly. And so maple syrup heist in Canada, which is the largest producer of maple syrup, is a big deal.
Yeah.
So in 2011,
Whoa, wait. Is this crime called anything?
yes, the Great Canadian Maple Syrup
That's
Heist.
it? It doesn't have a cool name?
That's literally what the crime is called.
Oh my god. They should call it from tap to trap. Like when they catch them. Can we call it that? Can we call it
Sure, Robbie.
Sticky
All
business?
Sticky business. All right, that's the name of this one, guys. Sticky business. 2011.
Nope, sounds like a porn.
Yep. That's all right. Well, so 2011. Picture it. Quebec. Nearly 540,000 gallons of syrup was stolen, which equals a street value of $13.4 million, making this the most valuable heist in Canadian history. Crazy. So, a little bit of background. In Canada, they have this sort of federation, which is the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, FPAC, because in French it spells FPAC. I can't say it in French, so don't worry about it. So FPAC was formed in 1966 by a group of maple syrup producers, and essentially what this does is it controls all of the maple syrup in Quebec. So in order to sell maple syrup in Quebec, you have to be part of this federation. But this federation holds a reserve of maple syrup. So you have an allotted amount of maple syrup that you can sell as a producer, and the rest of like anything extra that you make, you have to send to this reserve. You have to send to the federation for them to put in their reserve, and they control the amount of maple syrup that is released into population. So if like there's a
bonkers.
I know, right? It's essential. Like this federation is referred to as like a essentially like a mafia, like a maple syrup mafia of Canada. So like on years where there's lots of maple syrup production, like they get a lot of reserves, and on years where there's low, they have backup to sell out. So with any sort of federation with regulations like this, there's always kind of crime that surrounds it. A lot of people that produce maple syrup are not happy about this because they want to be able to sell their maple syrup, because when it's sent to the reserve, they don't get paid until it's sold. So if they make they can only make a certain amount of money a year, essentially. If they hit the highest thing, they can't go over that. So FPAC represents 77% of the global maple syrup supply. So this is like controlling most of the world supply of maple syrup. It's been compared to a cartel.
Oh, I'm sure.
The heist was from this reserve, this Federal Reserve. It was discovered because once a year, FPAC takes an inventory of the barrels. Once a year. All of these hundreds of thousands of barrels are held in one facility. And once a year, somebody comes and checks them out. So this guy was climbing. They're just stacked on top of each other. So this guy was climbing up on the barrels to take inventory of them when the barrels just like fucking were all wobbly and he almost fell off. And these barrels are filled with maple syrup, so they should not be wobbly. They're like 600 pounds each. So obviously he was like, all right, well, what the fuck? Why did I almost just fall off 600-pound barrels? So he tapped on the barrel, and it was like hollow. It didn't have anything in it. So he opened it up. No maple syrup. So he's like, all right, well, shit. He calls the headquarters. He calls the police. Eventually, the Royal Mounties get involved, along with U.S. Customs.
U.S. Customs?
U.S. Customs.
Why U.S. Customs?
Well, you'll find out. So he calls the police. They start gathering up a team of investigators. They had 250 investigators. This was the biggest crime scene that they had ever had, like, in Quebec. They went around to see how many barrels were empty. You know how they did? You know how they checked?
How?
Every barrel, Robbie? They tapped on it. They tapped on
yeah.
every single one. And some of them didn't sound quite right because they were filled with water and others were just empty.
Wow.
And the best part about this is because it's Canada and it's maple syrup and they're like, who the fuck's gonna come steal some maple syrup in Canada? There were no video cameras. No video cameras, no like guards.
They left the door unlocked. Yeah, they did.
It essentially was just a garage with a lock on the door.
Yeah. That
was holding hundreds of thousands of barrels of maple syrup. The police get to work trying to investigate it. They ended up having 223 witness interviews for this because they didn't have any idea where to start. Mm-hmm. They were like, all right, well, let's just talk to everyone that's involved in the Federation. So they were talking to basically everyone in the maple syrup business in Quebec. They executed 40 search warrants and they ended up making 26 arrests. But not all of them quite panned out. So during these witness interviews, the name, I'm going to butcher these because they're all French names. I'm so sorry. Richard Valeris. Was that good? That wasn't.
No, you're horrible with accents.
Vallières, but there's a little tilde over the. Is that a tilde? Is that what the little dash, the little
accent
marks are?
Accent aigu.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
Accent aigu. Accent aigu.
Is that an
French.
accent? Like a?
Yeah.
Is that
it's an accent mark?
How do you say that? How do you pronounce that name?
I think it depends on. I don't know. I just see it. I don't.
French, Canadian, and French are different. So. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Anyways, so Richard kept coming up
Dick kept coming.
Dick kept coming up in all these witness interviews. And he was like a known barrel roller, which is essentially somebody that sells maple syrup on the black market.
Canada's
because
fucked.
there was a black market for maple syrup from these people that didn't want to send their extras to the reserves.
Yeah, makes sense.
So anyways, that guy's name kept coming up. And meanwhile, while they're doing all of these witness interviews, they're collecting evidence at the crime scene. And they are finding fingerprints, they're finding shoe prints, they are finding dents in the barrels because they had to use forklifts to move them. So what they ended up doing was matching the forklift, like the indents from the forklift, to a certain brand of forklift. And they reasoned that it was rented in that area. Mm-hmm. So they just went around to the stores and were like, hey, let me see the list of names
they rented it out.
of people that rented forklifts.
Yeah.
And one of the names on one of those lists matched another name of somebody that was also coming up in a lot of witness interviews, named Sebastian Hirtas. I don't know. I can't. Never mind. Yes. So sorry, I lost
Stroke.
my
There's a
place.
mini stroke there.
Yeah. So they have the name of this barrel roller guy. They have the of Richard, of Dick. They have Sebastian, who was the one who rented the forklift. Turns out the common link between these people and the garage or the warehouse or wherever that these barrels were kept was Avik Haron.
Keep going.
Anyways, he's the owner of the storage building
Yeah.
where the maple syrup was held.
It was an inside job. I knew that from the first 10 seconds of the story.
Yes, it 100% was an inside job.
Yeah. To move that
Congratulations,
amount
Robbie.
of liquid and that preparation, that's crazy. That's definitely inside, yeah.
Do you want to know how they did it, Robbie?
I'm assuming they just let them in at night and they tapped the barrels and then got it away.
So what they did, all of the barrels in this warehouse are all uniform. Every single one looks the same. They're all like a light blue paint or like a white paint, and they all have a label with the Federation seal on it. So what they did was they got 140 barrels or 104 barrels or something like that, painted them to look exactly the same, made fake labels. They came in and they swapped them out with the filled barrels. So they came in, replaced them, took the other ones out, and then they moved those barrels, the Federation barrels, to a different warehouse, also owned by Avik. I don't know. He's Italian. It turns out he has connections to the mafia. So anyways, to another warehouse that he owned, where they then siphoned the maple syrup out of the Federation barrels into different barrels because they can't sell Federation barrels to people. And then they filled the Federation barrels that are now empty because the maple syrup has been removed with stream water from behind one of their houses, and then they brought them back to the warehouse and switched them back out. But eventually the freeze or the stream froze over, so they couldn't fill the barrels from it anymore, so they just put them back empty, which is why there were some empty ones. But this was going on for months. Like, this didn't all happen in one.
This was probably a long
Yeah,
time.
this was like a rotational thing.
Yeah.
Because nobody fucking checked on the maple syrup. There are no cameras. Nobody's looking at anything.
What year was this?
So
2011.
Yeah. So once they have siphoned out the maple syrup into another barrel, they prepped it. They need somebody from the Federation to be able to sell this maple syrup because everything's regulated. Everything is so regulated. They can't sell it like on the black market, like at the cost that they wanted to. So turns out Dick's dad, Raymond, is part of the Federation. And so he sold the barrels to Etienne.
Somebody being in the U.S.?
Nope, they're still in Quebec. So they sold them to the St. Pierre guy in New Brunswick because the Federation only covers
New
Quebec.
Brunswick.
So because he's from the Federation, he sold it to this guy in New Brunswick, who then sold it to like little purchasers.
Everybody,
yeah, essentially he distributed it. And they were able to tie all of these things together, obviously, because they're dumb. Do you want to know what they were sentenced with, Robbie?
Did they drown them in maple syrup vats?
That would be fucking hilarious.
We sentenced
Tarred
you
and
to
feathered,
death.
but like with maple syrup
No,
instead
we
of
sentenced
tar.
you to death by hanging from your legs. We dip you in the maple syrup, yeah? Right in the bottom. And then they drown. That'd be fucked up. Like Canada's like just so fucking like you think they're all nice, but then they sentence you to death by drowning in maple syrup.
Drowning
That'd
in
be
maple syrup.
Fucked up and so fucking rock and roll. That'd be so awesome.
Oh,
That's how I want to go.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a New Englander, so that's different, I guess. But I want to die in maple syrup vat.
Die in a maple syrup. If you're gonna go any way, it better be in
a true
bath
New
of
Englander.
fucking maple syrup.
A true New Englander wants to die in maple syrup.
Well, you're not wrong, Robbie. I think that's cremate me and just mix me in with some maple syrup.
Put me on some pancakes and
Don't eat me though.
I'm eat the shit.
You never know
out
what
of you.
part you're gonna get.
So what happened to him?
Anyway, so once all of this was figured out, Dick, Raymond, Estine, Saint Pierre, Avic, and Sebastian were all convicted. Dick, because he played the biggest role in all of this.
Of course, Dick did.
Dick was the biggest dick in this entire heist. He argued that he had been forced to buy a stolen syrup and replace it with water after being threatened by an unnamed man carrying a gun. The jury did not buy that. So he was found guilty of theft, fraud, and trafficking stolen goods, and was sentenced in April of 2017 to 8 years in prison. Plus, he had to pay a fine of $9.4 million with an extension of 14 years if he did not pay that fine.
Which he's not. That's so much money.
That's cray. That's so much money.
Yeah.
His father, Richard. Oh,
Nope.
nope. His father, Raymond. Yep, there it is. His father, Raymond, was convicted of possession and sentenced to a jail term of 2 years, minus 1 day to be served in the community, as well as 3 years probation, and was required to pay $9,840 within 1 year or go to jail for 6 months extra.
You have been convicted of holding maple syrup. And they just like, they bust into his house with a search warrant. And you know how like in the cop movies, when they find cocaine, they take a knife and they like taste it a little bit. Yep, that's the pure stuff. And he just goes in with his finger in like a bottle. That's it. This is it.
He has like a spoon of like snow that he dips in. It's just like the like sugar on snow. Oh shit. Anyway, Saint Pierre was accused of buying the stolen syrup and rebranding it and selling it in New Brunswick as New Brunswick maple syrup. Reportedly told the jury, "You can't prove what tree the syrup came from."
Well,
True.
actually, you probably could.
You probably could.
I'm sure there's some sort of, I don't want to say DNA, but there's some sort of plant something.
Tree DNA?
Something you could extract. I bet you could figure out at least what species and where it came from, like region-wise.
Well, it's either gonna come from a sugar maple or a red maple.
But I mean, from
maple.
where? I bet they could figure out where it came from.
What region?
Like what?
I
bet
don't
you could
know.
tell what.
I don't know.
I bet you could tell what farm if you get sciencey enough.
Because that shit's like cooked down. It's turned into stuff. I don't know. Anyways, he was found guilty of fraud and trafficking stolen goods. He was also sentenced to jail for 2 years minus 1 day to be served in the community, as well as 3 years probation, and he must pay $1.3 million over 15 years or be imprisoned for 5 years more. So that sucks. Avik Sharon, the insider who owned the fucking warehouses, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison plus a fine of $1.2 million. And Sebastian, who was the truck driver in all of this, he was found guilty of I don't know. Nope, I read that wrong. Anyways, he got 8 months in prison.
Gotcha.
Yep. Also, this whole ordeal was featured on an episode of Dirty Money, which is featured on Netflix.
Is that where you got this from?
No. So I actually got this topic from the podcast Wine and Crime. They did an episode on Canadian.
Oh, God. So you stole it from somebody?
Oh, come on. Like every fucking paranormal podcast ever hasn't done Annabelle.
Yeah, but Annabelle's cool.
Annabelle's cool. Maple syrup's awesome. If it weren't for maple syrup, I wouldn't be drinking this beer right now. Who knows? This could have been heisted maple syrup, Robbie. They never recovered all of the barrels.
Oh, no.
Which is why U.S. Customs got involved, to just circle back. Because the guy in St. Pierre, like, shipped it to, like, Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine and, like, Japan and all Germany, like, all over the world. But, like, mostly to the Northeast. So, who knows? Who knows? We could be eating fucking bootleg hot syrup. They call it hot syrup. Hot syrup.
God, this is the dumbest crime ever. It's crazy.
Well, there's a documentary coming out next year called The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. So
mean sticky
keep an eye out
business?
for that. Sticky business.
Sticky business.
Oh boy. So if you want to hear Wine and Crime do it, go check them out. It's their Canadian crime episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have enough listeners. Don't go to them.
They have
Listen
a lot
to
of
us.
listeners. Well, I saw them live. They're cool. They have beautiful Minnesotan accents.
Didn't they snub you for like a...
No, that was and that's why we did
Oh,
it.
okay.
So fuck you.
And fuck you, and that's why we drink.
Yeah, but I love A Paranormal Chicks. So
Who's
go
that?
check them out and go check out our friends the Golden Ghouls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have them on an episode at some point. We gotta figure that shit out.
Yeah. I think I was supposed to email them, then you were supposed to email them, then I was supposed to
Yeah.
email them, and then we just got busy
Well,
with
we
life.
Yeah, sorry, Ghoulies. We'll get back to you. We promise.
I blame
It was
Lauren.
bad communication on our part. Maybe when you move back here, we can all we'll figure it. We'll talk about it later. Okay.
Big
Well, that was
big
fun.
orgy. Big orgy.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big
Big
old orgy.
orgy.
With
A
the
Golden Ghouls orgy.
Golden Ghouls. All right. Well, maybe not.
I mean,
Danny, you can come too. If you want.
yes, you can.
Yeah.
Before we go, we're going to rate our beers real quick.
Ooh, I forgot that we did this.
Ooh, yeah. Some episodes we definitely have forgotten. All right, I drank The Fog, well, it's got a long name. Wandering into the Fog from Abomination Brewing Company. 8.6% double IPA. It was very good.
Ooh.
I'm kind of glad this is one of the few beers where the hype actually was true.
Good. And it's older, right? You've had it for a while.
I have had it at least for 4 months plus, 5, 6
Okay,
months.
well then it's probably fine. If you had it for longer than that, I'd say that. It was probably even better.
I've had an Alchemist in there that was there like a year old, and I had it, and it was still perfect.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
if you have it right away, it's like real good, and if it's still good like a year later, that's great.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So for all you fucking beer snobs out there who are like, oh, I can only drink IPAs that are 30 days old, and if they're not, I'll just get rid of them. Like, you fucking moron.
If you are one of those people and you're listening to our podcast, please send us those beers that are more than 30 days old
them.
because we will happily take them off of your hands because beer is expensive and we like drinking it.
I don't think they realize IPAs were meant to be like long-lasting beers to go.
Hops are literally a preservative. Hops are literally a preservative.
It's crazy. It's like, no.
I'm going to live forever. I have so many hops in my body.
No, I've seen the way you're going to die pretty soon.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'd probably give this one like a 3.75. 3.75. It's very good. I highly recommend it if you get a chance. I know they have a couple different versions of this, which I would love to try.
Well, that sounds wonderful, Robbie. I drank tonight.
I drank. Yeah, no shit, Lauren.
I drank tonight, and what I drank
Just like
tonight
every night.
was Morning Wood. Morning Wood is a bourbon barrel aged imperial porter, and it was aged in barrels with coffee, maple syrup, and natural flavors. It is from Funky Buddha Brewing in Florida somewhere. Oakland Park, Florida. Found it. And it is 11% ABV. And I really liked this porter. I'm not usually one on the heavy beers, but I was really feeling the coffee and the maple syrup. It's fucking delicious. It's thick as hell. But I'm going to give it a 3.5.
That is not bad.
Yeah, it was really good. And I can drink the whole thing by myself. And it's one of the 750 milliliter bottles.
I can drink it all by myself.
I can drink it all by myself. But usually if it's a porter in that big of a bottle, like I have to split it with someone because I can't drink that much.
I'm a big kid now.
Yeah, that's what I am. I am that drinking this beer. Drinking this Morning Wood. I'm a big kid now. All right.
Don't put kids and morning
Nope.
wood in the same sentence.
Nope.
Oh, that's a horrible way to end this up. That just wraps it up for this episode of the Brew Interviews. You can find us on our Instagram account at the Brew Interviews or on Twitter at Brew Interviews. You can also send us an email at thebrewinterviews@gmail.com or on Facebook under the Brew Interviews. And if you feel so inclined, you can head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thebrewinterviews and become part of the Brew Interviews family, just like these few people: Hillary, Mitch, Steph, Karen, Danny, and Jess. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Also, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us out. And be sure to head over to redbubble.com and search the Brew Interviews and buy some of our cool merch with our wonderful logo from the great Kristen Carroll. And
Yes,
that's
do it. No.
good. For the Brew Interviews, I'm Robbie.
And I'm Lauren.
Good night. That was like
Good night.
Chocula. That was.
Yeah. Do you want to do it
No,
again? Or?
nope, that's final.
Okay. Well, let that haunt your dreams.
This has been the Brew Interviews, a podcast about craft beers coast to coast with Lauren and Robbie.
And I really like Dick. It's thick as hell.